What's up, YouTube? This is LA Prepper, and we are live in HD. In fact, I don't know what kind of dare I try 720. Oh my lord. I don't know if I makeup. Where's makeup? I need makeup. Coming to you live in 720p. Well, good thing I don't have to pay extra for that. But yeah, a little bit more high definition. Man, that laptop camera was a piece of junk. And I could really use some water, so hold on just a minute and we'll throw out our link in case anybody familiar comes by. What is going on, creative? Let's go ahead and see if we can throw up another window, and then we will share screen, application window, Opera. All right, there we go. Now we can actually get some stuff going on, so that will be cool. And hopefully, in fact, I don't know if I've previously tried to eat tamales with a mic. I just guess I have to be a little bit careful. Oh, no. That's terribly awkward. Maybe I'll put the mic out a little bit. So, we are on the new full HD webcam. This is a Wands. I wonder if it'll autofocus. Anyways, I don't think there's a. Oh, it's all right. So this is a new Wands View webcam. It was, I don't know, 25 bucks or something. I could have probably got a cheaper one, but sometimes you gotta be careful getting stuff that's a little too cheap. I wanted something with a stereo mic. I think it has autofocus. I think. But anyways, yeah. Well, I mean, clearly, the old camera was pretty terrible. Pretty terrible. So let's jump right into the topics. So we have this event that is on people's minds at the moment. This Breonna Taylor's death. And one of my favorite new subscribers, Let Freedom Ring America, I think. Oh my gosh, what does... Okay. Oh man, what is this window doing? Jeez Louise. Freaking CNN.com. It's killing me right now. Like, what is this giant window on top? I really don't know. This is why I don't like a lot of mainstream news sites. You really can't. Like, what is this? Chris Rock Christmas? Like, I really. Oh my god. Get out of here. Alright, we're just not going to go to CNN.com if they're going to play stupid ass ads like that. Let's try Kiro7.com. I've never heard of it, so hopefully it'll be less annoying. Hijacked by... How do you hijack a riot? I'm not really sure. That's kind of funny. So this youngish woman apparently was shot by police as her boyfriend fired shots towards police. And as I was saying, man, these green tamales are really spicy. Bastante picante. So Let Read 'em Fring America did a video on it. In fact, I should go ahead and find a link to that. And he was talking about what was going on and the charges, and currently, I think even if they charge the police with murder, there could still very likely be riots. It's not it's not just because of the charges. Find Let Freedom. Oh gosh. I did not. Wow, I thought I'd really be able to find his channel a lot easier. Oh jeez. Or is it Live Free or Die? Oh my gosh, I'm really struggling right now. That's a little embarrassing. Good Lord. All right, forgive me, YouTube. I gotta find this video because he just did it. Come on, how is it not in one of the most recent videos? I think we're going to turn down to 480p because my computer is just struggling to make this happen with any sort of speed. 480p is still pretty high definition. I think that's high enough for me for now. Yeah, I tell you, trying to find your subscribers, I don't know why the subscription list isn't alphabetical, but it drives me insane. I think it's just the dumbest thing in the world. Where is this dude's video? It was not that long ago. Let freedom. Yeah, I thought that's what I wrote. Let freedom ring America. Gosh. SEO is kind of a dog sometimes. So I won't play the video because obviously you can go check out the video, but I will throw up a link here. Yeah, history is a good idea because I would have commented on the video. That's a good point. So I made this comment on his video that, as far as what you charge someone with, first degree murder, second degree murder, third degree murder, ultimately you want the charges to stick if you're trying to find justice. Now, firing through a door is, for an average person, that would clearly be reckless. For an officer of the law acting in, and I think they had opened the door. They were like in the process of, like, not smashing, like bursting open the door with one of those rams. And then the individual fired towards the police officers, and the police officers just lit up that entire house, apparently. Or at least fired a lot of shots. So you have to understand that as soon as you attack a police officer with a deadly weapon, you are basically signing a death warrant. And I don't know if her boyfriend, her late boyfriend, or I don't know if the boyfriend was killed. I think so. I'm fairly certain, her boyfriend either didn't care or, who knows. Maybe he was just a F the police kind of guy. I mean, it's really not worth, even if you know you're going to get caught, even if the cops are banging on your door. I mean, I guess you could try to run out the back or something, but I don't think the chances of that were likely. So as far as what specifically they charge the officers with, if you really want, I have to go bigger here so I can do my air quotes, justice for Brianna, you want the DA to file charges that are going to stick. So if the wanton endangerment is a more likely charge to stick, it makes sense that the DA went with that. Because, some of the manslaughter or first degree murder, kind of depends on your level of intent. There's like, you completely planned it, you sort of reacted, and then it was sort of like not accidental, but like, I don't know, involuntary manslaughter. I'm not a attorney, but I did used to be a paralegal. And the point is, if you charge the officer with a higher crime and then you aren't able to convict the officer, especially if it goes to trial, which there would be a decent chance of it going to trial if it was a murder charge, because a guilty verdict, well, it kind of depends on the attorney, depends on the circumstances, depends on the evidence. But what the justice system typically does is they file a lot of charges against someone, kind of like this Damocles. God, what is that dumb sword name? Damocles sword. Damocles sword, which is talking about people in power and how they sort of have this. There's always this risk, right? Well, if he was found not guilty, people would probably think that was less just, even if it went through trial. So whether or not you want to, you want that feel good of the DA charging with the highest level crime possible, just charging the biggest and baddest crimes isn't necessarily going to increase the likelihood of justice. So I don't think a lot of rioters really understand that. But the bottom line is, you have all these people in the street saying, oh, justice for Brianna, justice for Brianna. Why isn't anybody rioting to say that trying to attack a police officer and dealing drugs is not a great way to live your life? Like, people should be rioting for that. Down with drug dealing, down with attacking police officers that are doing their job. Who knows what kind of drugs the person was allegedly dealing, but dealing drugs tends to have a fairly negative effect on the community. So it's not a altruistic way to make a living typically. And people might argue, well, maybe he was just brought up that way, or maybe not brought up that way, but maybe he didn't have any other opportunities, or he was just surrounded by bad people, or he had a rough life growing up, or who knows what, right? But the bottom line is, when you're dealing drugs that it's against the law. And like I said in the comment, if you are a sort of a consistent quote unquote drug dealer, like that's your thing, like you're doing it full time, your full time job or part time job is dealing drugs, There's typically one or two things, one or two ways that your life progresses. One, maybe three. Let's say there's three different levels. There's bigger and better. So maybe you vertically integrate, you go from selling them to making them to meeting. When you start, I've never dealt drugs in my life, but I've known some colorful individuals. And let's take like pot, for example, right? Before everyone had their medical card, if you ever wanted to smoke, you had to go, talk to a dealer, right? So the low level dealer, maybe he buys an ounce or a couple ounces from some guy and he sells little 10, 20 bags to his buddies. Now, that person is either going to escalate the level of their dealing to where maybe they start buying pounds and then they're the ones selling ounces, or they're buying 20 pounds and they're the ones selling pounds and ounces, or whatever, right? So they might escalate, they might selling larger quantities. They might stay the same, just say, I'm fine just buying, an ounce every week and I sell all of it and then I buy another ounce and I don't want to get any, deeper into it than that. Or they might just quit, say, okay, this is too hot. I almost got caught or whatever. Like an LB. I don't know what L, like a pound. Yeah. Or they just stop, right? So the bottom line is there's three ways you can go when you're dealing drugs. Same amount of drugs, more drugs and more quantity, or maybe harder drugs, or kind of less and less, and then you stop. Bottom line, if you keep dealing drugs and you keep having random people over to your house, the problem with dealing drugs is that it incites a lot of greed, right? You want to make more money. Let's say, you buy that ounce and you sell it all in a week. You start thinking, well, what if I had more clients? What if I could sell 2 ounces in a week? And then you start talking to more people, and then you start selling 2 ounces every week, and you're like, what if I could sell 3 ounces a week? And then you start selling 3 ounces a week and you meet even more people. And there's always that risk. Not that you like connect with a narc or an undercover or something like that, but there's always that risk that people are not as discreet as you want them to be. So, who knows? Like you sell to some 16-year-old kid, they smoke, their parents catch them, and their parents like, I'm going to ground you and take away your car unless you tell me where you got it. Or the parents steal the kid's phone and they're looking through all the numbers, and then they go to the cops and they're like, I think this is the phone number of the drug dealer. So it's like, unless you keep at the same level of business, you're always sort of putting yourself at risk by interacting with new individuals. So there's ways that you might get in trouble by someone ratting you out. There's ways that like people might see how much money you have or how much product you have. I mean, junkies, whether it's pot or crack or heroin or whatever, right? Drug dealer will rob you for like getting high once, getting high a couple times. Like not every robbery is over $10,000. Maybe you have a gun, maybe you have a bong, I don't know. The point is the more you deal, the longer you live that lifestyle, the more you set yourself up to dangerous situations. So this individual who was dealing drugs, who was theoretically didn't start yesterday, reasonably could have believed that that way of life has an inherent amount of risk. Hence, they bought the firearm to defend themselves against someone trying to steal their shit or getting jacked in the middle of a sale or God knows what. Drug dealers owning firearms and criminals owning firearms is not a surprise, right? So, well, exactly. The risk of being jumped for cash. Exactly. That's not any layperson, whether or not you're a drug dealer, whether or not you're a firearm owner, understands that you go around with large amounts of cash. In fact, that's actually a really good thing to put on a CCW application. Like if you go buy cars at an auction or you're buying used farm equipment and you're always walking around with $20,000 cash, some sheriffs that are a little more Second Amendment leaning will be. I used to look into like the CCW stuff, and carrying around large amounts of cash is apparently a somewhat legitimate reason, although I think we should just be able to carry because the Constitution says, but I'm not, this isn't a Second Amendment video. So anyways, bottom line, The guy dealing drugs knew drug dealing was wrong. He may have owned the firearm legally. That's kind of beside the point. When you start doing things like attacking the police, it doesn't really matter if he got it legally or illegally. He probably had enough connections. He could have got one illegally. It's not the hardest thing in the world. They're ridiculously cheap on the black market. So a week or a couple weeks worth, he could have got a used firearm on the black market. It's not that big of a deal. I don't know anyone who sells black market firearms. I'm just saying, presumably in those circles, since we tend to find that criminals have firearms, you must assume it's not that hard to find a firearm if you're up to no good. Okay. He was clearly, if he was dealing drugs, the police were surveilling him on an ongoing basis. That's considered by society, up to no good. So back to the girl, Brianna. She knew drug dealing was wrong. She probably knew he was dealing drugs. She may or may not have been using drugs with him. Excuse me. I would suspect she knew he had a firearm. I would find, unless she just met him or he never took it out, there's a relatively good chance she knew he had a firearm. So, it is sad that she was around this bad person, place, and these types of things. And who knows if she felt trapped or if she wasn't making money and she felt like she didn't have anywhere to go or she didn't have any family or she was being abused or she was, physically abused or psychologically abused. Look, there could have been a lot of other things going on. And, she could have had, there could have been, we don't really know the whole story. And because now she's gone, we won't ever really know, the full story. I'm sure we'll see like family members and friends start coming up. She was a beautiful person and she was an angel and she'd never hurt a flea. And, that could all be true. But the bottom line is she associated herself with someone doing bad things. And like I was talking about, unless you sell to the same, X amount of people and you know them all, or you stop selling, if you're meeting new people regularly and trying to sell and trying to grow your business, there's a good chance that bad things are going to happen. And look, most people that do that kind of thing are not discreet at all. I could see somebody dealing drugs a mile away. They're standing, they're looking around, they're reaching in their pockets, they're doing this weird shit with their hands, they got a backpack on. It's like I see it somewhat regularly. Cars always come in and out. Like, you just, like, if you're trying to deal, I'm not trying to like give you advice on how to deal drugs, but seriously, if you're trying to deal drugs, don't do it out of your apartment, don't do it out of your house, don't do it in the same location every time, don't do it in broad daylight, don't do it where everyone can see you. Like, have some fucking discretion, for Christ's sake. But most dealers are, they just don't care. They don't care. They don't think anybody's going to notice, or they're like, well, snitches get stitches, so I'll just pop a cap in anyone who rats me out. And the bottom line, like, where I used to live in Alhambra, one of the guys, there's actually two. I think there were two dealers that lived on like either side of me. So one had people coming up to the house all the time, a couple houses east, and the other one, an apartment complex west, had people coming up to the house. Now, the one to the east, the cars were coming up all the time, but they were relatively respectful. They weren't really bumping their music. They kind of parked, got out of their car, went up, did their thing, got in their car, and left. And it's like, look, I don't have the energy to try to get all up in all my neighbors' business. Even if I had a neighbor now that was doing it, as long as it wasn't like, getting too crazy or the cops are at their house like every other day or something, like, no problem, creative. Um, I'm really trying to mind my own business unless it's like directly affecting my life in a negative way. So the bottom line is most dealers are not terribly discreet. It's not very, and not all neighbors are as sort of live and let live as I am. Some people, when they see that type of thing happening, they'll call the police and say, hey, my neighbor's dealing drugs. Cars are coming up all the time. And depending on how busy the cops are and what's going on, maybe they'll get some surveillance or whatever. But anyways, look, it's super sad that. Oh, what's up, Oregon? I put a link to jump on the stream a little bit earlier. In fact, I'll go ahead and maybe at least I thought I did. I'll put up another one. All right, hold on, Uncle Al. Let me jump you on here.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Good. I gave myself a haircut. I'll take off the earphones real quick. What do you think? Not too bad.
You're gonna be a Instagram star in no time.
Yeah, use one of these and then.
Oh my God! Did you really use a knife to cut your hair?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell the back. What do you think? Did I do
it? It looks fine.
I couldn't see. I couldn't hold the mirror, and
Yeah.
Like I said, old Uncle Al has his crazy ways. Hi, Ernest.
Yeah, so we were just kind of wrapping up talking about Breonna Taylor, how, her boyfriend probably has been up to this drug dealing thing or allegedly drug dealing. And if, you surround yourself with people doing questionable stuff, you can't really be surprised if, the shit hits the fan at some point.
True. Hi, CR. Yeah, like I said, it was a bad situation all around. I would just wait until get out of the building and just conk them on the head. That makes sense, doesn't it?
Well, I guess he started firing kind of as they were entering or something.
Yeah, but I wouldn't do a no-knock search warrant. That's crazy right there.
Allegedly no knock. Some witnesses are saying no, they did announce it. So yeah, I don't know. I wasn't there.
Hard to say unless they have cameras to prove it.
Yeah. Bottom line, don't hang out with people that deal drugs and own firearms in relation to dealing drugs, and your life will probably turn out better.
Yep.
All right, enough about that stuff. Let's get back to this to the riot. So this U-Haul truck thing. You hear about this U-Haul truck?
Oh yeah, Harshman Hill did a video on that of the guys putting out an Antifa. Is it Antifa? Or feminist products, I don't know, signs. And you froze.
Oh, did I?
A little bit. Okay, there you are. Yeah, they were handing out shields and stuff. I kind of like it when I what? Which one? Oh, no guns. They had paintball sticks. I think axes. That's an Inspired John. Hi, Inspired John. Did you ever get Inspired John email?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I don't think so. John, if you want to email me at laprepper@gmail.com, I rarely check it, but I'll try to check it if you shoot me an email.
Yeah. I'm trying to. Oh, today's Tamale Day, right?
Yeah, I was starving. I already ate them. You kind of missed that part.
Oh, that's all right. What was it? Chicken, beef?
Chick pollo, dos verde, dos rojo.
That's good. I like lingua.
Ugh, tongue? Ugh.
I like tongue and brains.
Cabeza?
Yep. Cabeza or lingua. Make a man out of you.
Gross. I was joking with the guy at my favorite taco stand because he got a cabeza quesadilla, and the guys at the taco stand were like, "Go Proximo, like next time buy a cabeza taco." And I'm like, "No, dude, not happening."
I used to eat like 5 or 6 of them. They look at me like, "Japonés? Sí, japonés de show."
Oh, Japanese.
I think that's it's Japanese. Yeah. Lord. Okay, John's got the riots in Pennsylvania. They're rioting all over the place. I'm working on something on October 19th, and I did my ammo video today, I think.
Well, there was an ammo can. I don't know if there was ammo in the can. I didn't finish
Oh,
watching
yeah.
it, but
Yeah, every year on my birthday, November 14th, I buy a bunch of 22 ammo and I stick it into those cans. So until I get like 5,000 rounds, and I with some moisture absorber and oxygen absorber and tuck it away someplace. I just got to remember where.
I miss range days. I tell you, I really do.
You still got the 22, right?
No, I don't. I don't own any firearms.
You don't own any firearms, and you live in that neighborhood.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But no, currently do not own any Second Amendment stuff. Just a machete, a bat, a folding knife, and my wits.
Sounds like a bad cosplay
Yeah,
game.
right.
I have my wits and a machete.
Yeah,
What
I
does Uncle
know.
What does Uncle Al have? Sawed off shotgun. I'm old. I
Yeah.
don't want to fight people, even when they take my guns away.
So did anyone see the stuff on the Biden, Ukraine Hunter Biden giving money to this company and funds and hookers and all that stuff?
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
Let me see if I can pull it up. God, these ads on these stupid drive. That's why I go to the websites that I go to, because Drudge, Infowars, Breitbart, RT, they don't have these ads that take up half the damn screen. Just
True.
crap. Like, what is this? Colorful rolling hills, the vineyards, enjoy a bounty of farm to table food? What the fuck is this? I'll go to the store if I need food. I don't need whatever this. Jesus
It's
Christ.
farmers are desperate. They're trying to sell out of their farms to make money.
Yeah, I'm sure they're struggling a little bit.
Yeah, if you're down here, you get all the fresh food you want. Real cabeza, real lingua, fresh out of the cow.
No gracias.
I'll cook
Yeah,
it. Don't
no.
worry. Uncle Al knows how to process and cook. You just eat it. It'll be real good. I have a
Wow.
delicate wine broth to cook the tongue. Just it looks ugly as hell. It's on the serving plate. I got to peel off the skin. You don't want to eat the membrane, which is the fuzzy stuff on your tongue. I have to peel it off. It makes a gross sound when you peel it off. It's like ripping something, going.
I'd rather not hear about it. But anyway, so I'm searching Hunter Biden, and look what I found. The U.S. Senate, the House Senate Committee on Homeland Security and Government Affairs, Hunter Biden, Burisma, and corruption, the impact on U.S. government policy and related concerns. What a fascinating report.
Oh, yeah. They always do paperwork like that. And you know what happens in 20 years? It's in a bad section of the storage room that you have to pay for.
Now, Oregon, my Spanish, I assure you, is muy mal. I know a little bit, but I can't speak fluently. When people try to speak to me, I get lost somewhat quickly if they're speaking very fast, like most native speakers do.
Like I said, I got brain damage, so I sometimes go in and out of English, Japanese, Chinese, Spanish, Korean. I don't know what language am I speaking. I'm speaking English now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I got to take this tranquilizer and this anti-seizure medicine I got this morning. So what if I don't sleep for 2 or 3 days? But I'm fine. I could talk for a little while.
All right. So, anyways, if anyone feels like checking out the Hunter Biden stuff, more than welcome to read 87 pages of government goodness, which I'm sure will be pushed by our favorite POTUS as the election comes up. But what else do we have? So some house updates. I just put a super short video on Compost. I thought I recorded a 10-minute video. Turned out the camera just stopped. I don't know. So
it's a communist camera. That's why it stopped.
well, no, not the webcam. Well, I don't know if my Android's made in China. Probably everything is, right? But
don't worry, you'll make a longer one later.
yeah, probably. But
Yeah. Oh, I saw your video on the little single burner. It's not a
yeah,
Presto. You have to get Presto or Magic. You get
okay,
those at the restaurant supply companies. Those are used for I wrote it down, I think. Catering events. It's those are heat sensitive justice. You could fry in it, boil in it, steam in it. It's two burners, the popular one, because you're doing, you know, chafing dishes, and they want to control the temperature. They don't want to use the little flame cans. That's too dangerous. And you could control the heat to really high to really low. And Presto, Magic Shift, and I forgot the third company. Those are really good,
okay. I'll write that down.
but you got to get it through a restaurant supply house.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying not to get too crazy on like just stuff that I really need to finish the damn garage, get somewhere covered for my bike, get the damn flooring in my second bedroom squared away so I can. So much stuff, Uncle Al. It's killing
I
me.
know it'll take time. Just pick one project at a time. Don't go nuts.
Yeah, so today was emptying the 3 garbage bins of compost into a pile. So that's a 40-second video that I just uploaded because I need to finish digging up some dirt on my side gate so I can put cat fencing there. And I need to get rid of some rocks in the front and put some pavers out front. Pervy Prepper was saying I should just plant a bunch of vegetables up there, but there's so many stray cats. It's going to be a nightmare trying to deal with that.
Right, and also cat urine is not a good vegetable flavor.
No, I
You know what?
hate.
What that tastes on the eggplant and parsley? Mmm, cat urine. No, no. That's why
I loathe.
I have the raised bed so the neighborhood cats don't go poo in it. See, Uncle Alan's
Yeah.
smart. A little crazy, but smart.
The termite thing, we're gonna get a termite guy to come out Saturday just for like a free estimate to kind of see how much money he wants to take from me. Probably a lot, but we'll
It
see.
depends. If it's only a floor strata, it'd be under 1,000. If it's into the walls and stuff, the supports, it's going to cost you a pretty penny.
Yeah, so I'll probably take a little bit of sheetrock off the base of the wall tomorrow morning so I kind of can investigate because I I don't know. I don't know. There wasn't really a lot of termite damage in the bathroom floor. That was mostly just rot. But considering how active the colony was in that one corner, it makes me think they must have come from somewhere. They didn't just like magically appear in that corner, you
No,
know?
they have to have water.
Hmm.
So you got to figure where you got a leak from. Oh, I'm fine, Oregon Prepper. Today the air is breathable. It's 84.
Yeah,
Not for,
the sky
not
is
go ahead.
blue.
Yeah. It's not brown or chunky brown or full of ashes and stuff. I've been spraying vinegar on my garden to get the plants back up
Hmm.
because all the ashes turns everything to alkaline. So I've been spraying
Oh.
vinegar. Out of my 6 plants that got exposed to weed killer, tremendous heat, my nephews, we can prune these tomatoes, Uncle. I'm like, you two, leave them alone. Because I started with tomatoes like this, ended up like little tiny tomatoes.
You got to keep them out of your yard, just like the cats, Uncle Al.
I try, but they don't have nephew fencing.
Oh.
They come through the front door and everything. They have keys. They always worry about, oh, one of these days we're going to find you dead in your bed, Uncle Alan. Well, if there's a naked stripper there, don't bother me. I just remember I forgot to put the anti-seizure pill in the cup. I always put my medicines in the cup so I don't forget. Because if I leave them on the table, I'll forget and go to bed. Like, oh, I don't feel good. Then rush over here, take the pills, and go back to bed. Like last night. I went to bed at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Ugh, that sounds lovely.
That's fine. I don't sleep anyway. I sound like Darth Vader. Yes, I am asleep with a hose in my mouth.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. So,
So,
go ahead.
got a jigsaw in the mail. I'll be doing a video about that soon. I need to get some blades from Harbor Freight, but excited. I need to do the toilet flange that just does not want to come up, and I don't really want to cut the goddamn thing out.
Yeah.
I got to cut, the subfloor's got to go like that. The backer, the hardy backer, has got to go, like that around it. So
It's going to be hell. We
yeah.
always do Jewish lightning, a couple of gallons of it, and then spray Antifa over the outside of the house
What
and
is
the
Jewish lightning?
unleaded gasoline and a road flare.
I've never heard that. That's a good one.
Hey, Uncle Alan's old and Uncle Alan's racist, so I'm sorry, but I'm kind of old and nuts. It comes out. I try to be PI, politically incorrect, or is it politically correct?
Yeah, it's I have to take bias training at work. Everyone does. It's implicit bias training, I think.
Yeah, you could also sue them for that. You call it racist bias training,
I there's no
but you
point in
don't look
fighting it.
like Japanese, so
I
I
won't
could do it.
win. Yeah, maybe.
I could win because just tell them you're Asian, really pale.
I think the fact that they think that we all have a bias is implicit bias.
Yeah, it's true. But anyway, I'm old and I'm tired. I'm going to bed after I take the tranquilizers. They said this will help calm you down. I did tell you what happened to the jury duty, right?
Yeah, nobody showed up.
Yeah, 47 people got the red dragon and other effects. They're not going to die. They're just going to be miserable for 2 weeks.
I was feeling a little bad the last couple days, but I think it was just sucking up some of that. I was sawing the plywood and I didn't have my respirator, the engineered hardwood floor, and I think I sucked too much of that nasty powder and glue.
Right. It could be asbestos, cat piss, dog urine. Who
Yeah,
knows?
all the things.
40 years of beer and cocaine in the floor. That probably got into your system too.
That room, the second bedroom, I swear, when I spend like more than 20 minutes in there, like my sinuses get fucked. So I there's something going on with that room. I don't know what it is, but it's
You sure
not.
there's no dead people in the wall or anything? Like,
I don't know if they'd fit. The wall's not that big, but
just kidding around, folks. There's no dead bodies. It's um, L.A. Prepper's house is kind of small.
a couple. So we talked about the cat proofing. I'm working on that. I'll do some videos on that. The bathroom floor is going to be still working in progress. I wanted to mention surfing. I'm going to be hitting up probably the beach this weekend, maybe Sunday morning. So I won't announce what beach um, on the video just because that's a little too public. But if you are in the Los Angeles area and you want to meet me at the beach and go surfing, just shoot me an email at laprepper@gmail.com. If I don't get to it, I'm really sorry, but I will try to check it. I was gonna go last weekend to Oxnard, but my coworker wanted to get there at like 5 in the morning. It's like an hour and 10 minutes away, so I had to leave at 3:30. I'm up at 12 midnight fixing my wetsuit. I'll show you my wetsuit. So long story short, I stayed up till 2 in the morning, and I was so damn tired I just couldn't do it. I was freaking exhausted. But this wetsuit my dad bought me when I was like 18 years old, and miraculously it still fits. Although I feel like it's going to be tighter now than it was a few months ago because I'm like a buck 85. But so this is a Rip Curl wetsuit. It's a 3-2, so that's 3 in the chest, and I think kind of like down to the thighs, and then like 2 in the legs and stuff. But you can see um, this is the back area. This is all dental floss, I think. Well, no, the white stuff is dental floss. The tan stuff is upholstery thread. We have some more. What is this? That's more upholstery thread on that panel. And this is just from putting it on. Like, I didn't hit a rock or get bit by a shark. Just putting it on, stretching it up over the stitching is really close to the edges and the panels, and it's lasted pretty well overall. I think I cut both the arms because one arm got cut. So then I'm like, well, that looks stupid. So then I cut the other arm, and then kind of similar with the feet, I got to cut the other foot because getting your feet in and out at the very end is just an absolute nightmare, especially when it's wet.
True. And let's say hello to WD from
WD
Oregon.
Lock and Roll. What's going on, brother? Just talking about my wetsuit repairs. I think this thing actually has a lifetime warranty, but oh man, and this repair is already showing signs of wear. Oh man, you little bastard. Well, I might have to put a few more stitches in. Gosh, that is super unfortunate. Yeah, you don't want to tear to like start growing.
Right.
Or I could just go ahead.
You're using a curved upholstery needle, right?
I was for a lot of it, but the problem with the curved needle is that it's really dull. So it was really hard to punch through. So I actually did some of the more recent stitching with just a straight needle, and I have some diagonal cutters that are so dull I can use them as pliers. I don't know. They're from the 99-cent store. I didn't realize how like shitty they were when I got them, but they actually work really great to hold the needle.
Take for the dull one, the curved one. Take a little. You have the really fine grit sandpaper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just rub the tip with it. Just roll it between your fingers until it's razor sharp, and you can poke your finger with it.
Oh, the curved needle. Yeah, the curved needle is just more trouble than it's worth. I did it a lot. I've spent a couple hours with the curved needle. And if you don't have access, like that's kind of what they're for. But since I have pretty decent access, it's just kind of a thing. So anyways, anybody wants to go play in the water with LA Prepper, I'm not a good surfer. Don't ask me how to surf. I'm not
to worry. Yeah, just make sure you don't get eaten by a giant shark. You don't want to be
probably not, but
yeah. Last thing a surfer says, probably not. And the pregnant wife beating the damn shark with the surfboard. Get off my husband.
Right? I know. You never know. And then so I mean, other than that, work is pretty boring. There's one person at work who likes to kind of distract me and like say random comments to me when I'm walking by him, and it's kind of driving me crazy. So I gotta have to talk to him and be like, "Can you mind your own business and leave me alone, please?"
Yeah, it's the whatchamacallit. The red dragon is affecting everybody, or it could be mountains of the moon. That's another phase I haven't told people about, so don't worry about it. It's just that 7th phase, and number 6. I'm still investigating it, but it could be not. I don't know.
No, he just likes to talk to everyone.
Yeah, that's Mountains of the Moon. It's called Mass Hysteria Delusion. It's like that book they wrote out where everybody bought was it turnips or tulips? In the 14th century, and everybody went nuts. Because back then, a tulip was very valuable because of the bloom, and everybody was hedging bets, killing people. I want that bulb.
Weird. I never heard about that.
You didn't take history in college, right?
Nope.
What are they teaching you there anyway, other than protesting and smoking dope?
Fortunately, I didn't. The Cal State LA college, I had to take this feminine women's studies class, which was probably a terrible idea because I think the lady just hated women or hated men. So I don't think I was getting an A in that class no matter what, to be honest.
Throw a box of tampons at her.
Yeah, I'm sure that would have gone over well. So I had a couple liberal arts classes in my business degree, but it was a Bachelor of Science, so it was a little less. It wasn't a Bachelor of Arts. And then the engineering stuff was, I didn't have one single. Um, Maybe there's like an English class I took or something, but no, no.
You took the technical English class, right? So you could say
Uh,
all
Not
those
really.
fancy words.
No, it's just a regular boring English 200, 201 or something.
So
In
that's
fact,
under 1A, isn't it? English 1A, English 2A, English 3A.
it was like second year. The first semester the first class you would take in second year English. So,
Oh, that's
but
2A.
sure. Yeah, depending on what your college calls stuff. But interestingly, I did a report in that English class about Edward Snowden before, like right when he sort of leaked the thing and he was on to Hawaii and to Russia. It was like really soon after that. And I tried to convince the group, like, this guy is a hero. You know, he wasn't really popular at the time. He was well known, but he wasn't like respected for kind of letting the cat out of the bag as far as all the spying and all the stuff. I think this was before Julian Assange was in Ecuador and he was kind of still on the run, and Bradley Manning or Chelsea Manning was like that was just kind of coming to light. So I'll always remember that English class because of that report that I did on Edward Snowden with the
Right,
group.
the mustache guy, right?
Yes, the skinny white mustache guy who's in Russia right now, I think.
Right. I think he was a Russian plant, but Julian Assange is what you might call a real whistleblower, and I hopefully they give him pardon.
That poor guy has been rotting away in Ecuador for like I don't even know, for years. Feels
About
like
10 years.
yesterday, but yeah,
It's about
really,
10
really
years.
sad.
He was at Sweden, then Ecuador, and then I forget Portugal, and then Portugal back to Ecuador, and then
I thought he's in
he's a,
London right now in the Ecuadorian embassy.
right
He's like, I
because
think he's been in that embassy for years because he's afraid as soon as he steps out, they're gonna get him. You know.
right because he's finked on the MI6. Those guys hold a grudge. Trust me.
I'm really surprised they don't just say "fuck Ecuador." We're just taking him. Sorry, you're only
Now,
Ecuador. What are you gonna do?
trust me, they don't want to piss anybody else off because once Julian Assange told Ecuador what was Britain doing in Ecuador, they got really hostile at, at the crown, and they trust me, it was really funny. It's all technical stuff, but
Yeah,
oh boy,
spying is not good. You shouldn't spy on your own people without a warrant.
true.
And, it's such
That
a.
also goes with big business like Facebook, StreamYard, all the tech companies spy on you. It's like remember when we were looking for stuff and like all we have to say is plant-based hamburgers, and what happened later on the live stream? Plant-based
You
hamburgers,
know
Yamaha.
what's I know, right? You know what's really funny about this whole spying thing? You'd be surprised how many webcams advertise that they have an anti-spy cover on them. Isn't that interesting?
I got an easy way. I just put no stickum on it. That
But
takes
isn't it
care.
funny that like the idea that your webcam is spying on you used to be conspiracy theory, and now they sell webcams with covers because people like think their webcam spying on them.
Right. What's his name? Ethan Musk used to put electrical tape on his microphone and the camera all the time when he was working on projects because he didn't want the other guys to find out. And so did whatchamacallit,
Zuckerberg?
not Zuckerberg, Steve
Bezos?
Jobs.
Oh, Jobs.
Yeah, he was real paranoid. Nice guy, lousy father.
Who, Steve Jobs?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's also a nut. You thought Uncle Alan was crazy. That guy's like a quasi vegetarian. I remember one time when Steve ate nothing but orange foods. And guess what happened to him?
got cancer.
No, he turned orange.
Oh,
He ate, all he ate was pumpkin puree, anything that was an orange color, rutabagas, you name it. If it's orange color, he would eat it all the time.
that's not a great diet plan.
No, and it's like you remember I told you I used to work for a lot of billionaires.
I didn't know that, I don't think.
Yeah, I used to work for him. Go-to guy. Get this, get that. Get me so many hamburgers. I got a date tonight. Okay, and run off, and then find out she shot a lady in not Stockton, Hollywood Hills in the head. He was a crazy old record producer.
Oh, Phil Spector?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't give guys like that guns, but he had connections.
Kind of like that Democratic donor that likes to give young black gay prostitutes heroin that overdose at his house.
Right. Or whatchamacallit, Jeffrey
Epstein,
Epstein, yeah.
who accidentally hung himself, who ended up dead in his cell, as if any of us were surprised. And now his mistress, Ghislaine Maxwell, I don't think her odds are looking good. But
No, she's running around. She got protection. She's not going to house protection. Jeffrey Epstein was in state-run federal something. Both Fed and state use it, and it's like, that's kind of suspicious because he hung himself with a 3-inch noose. A little hard, tied up there and try to jump up and get onto the noose.
He knew a lot of stuff about people in power, and people in power use their power. I mean, I hate to think, but it probably doesn't cost as much as you'd think to off somebody. Now, if they're in prison, you got to like pay a few more people. But if you're just talking about some random dude on the street, I don't know, 10, 20, 30, $40,000, $50,000. I mean,
yep.
It can't be that much. It'd kind of be a shame to think about how cheap, and if you're already a criminal, if you're already a felon, what do you care about offing another guy for 20 grand? Like, that's a lot of money, for one night's worth of work.
I think it's Glomberg or Gloomberg or Bloomberg. Is it Bloomberg?
Mike, what about Bloomberg?
He's sending people to Kentucky and Florida. They're trying to get him on a RICO Act for Florida. He's paying all the criminals' bills because the Democrats put in. Now they're done their time and paid all their fees and fines so they could vote in our election. And he said, Bloomberg said, if you vote Democrats, I will pay all your legal fees and fines. And he already dumped $60 million into Florida.
I mean, I believe in, what do they call it?
Rehabilitation?
Yeah, I don't know if that was the word that reintegrate. Yeah, it's not exactly the word I was thinking of, but at any rate, yeah, that's like messed up political pandering, obviously.
Oh yeah, it is, and also it covers under the RICO Act. That's how they got the mafia with the unions. Dun 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 dun. It's an old show. It's The Untouchables.
Yeah, like
tax
evasion, right? So I got Capone was the taxes. It wasn't like any of the other stuff.
No, Capone was taxes first, but everybody who follows Capone got him on the RICO Act.
Mm.
And that was kind of funny. What do you mean I'm getting deported? Bye.
Right.
His lieutenant, the Jewish guy, I can't remember his name. Al Capone's lieutenant, Jewish mobster. He got deported to Israel. He died there. I'm just an investor, a poor Jewish investor from New York. Yeah, but didn't you machine gun some people in the 30s and 20s? Oh, that was my younger days. Back then it was called protesting. Yeah, with a Tommy gun.
Yeah, right. Jeez.
I can't remember his name. It's I just saw it on whatchamacallit.
All right, I'll look it up.
Shoot. That's what happened when you have brain damage and lack of sleep for 2 days.
Meyer Lansky?
Yeah, that's him. He used to have his own navy too.
Meyer Sukolensky.
Yep. He
helped
them.
Russian Jewish.
Yep. He helped the Americans win World War II, protected the shipyards, and shot anybody who looked, anti-American. He was very patriotic, but he also robbed the till too.
Yeah, well, just because you're patriotic doesn't mean you're perfect.
No, he doesn't want to be poor.
Who does, right?
Right. And then he got deported to Israel. There were several attempts by the Palestinians to bump him off, but he was part of the home guard in Israel. And they're asking him, Meyer, how can you use a Tommy gun so good? And Meyer says, I had practice in the 30s.
So some crazy times back then.
Oh, yeah,
30s.
it was kind of funny. And a lot of people don't realize LA is they still could deport you under the RICO Act and sedition conspiracy. That's how they got Meyer Lansky and the other guy.
Yeah, America used to care a little bit more about protecting the borders and immigration and checking people's papers. And
no,
I
this
don't
is
know.
people inside America. And you have a choice. You go 40 years of prison or you get deported back to your homeland.
Seems like an easy choice.
Yeah, everybody got deported back then. Last one was in 62 and he was Japanese. Of course, at that time, he sold secrets to Pearl Harbor too. He was a spy.
Fascinating touch on history. I'm sure if Inspired John was here, he'd love to chime in something about something historical. Well, listen, I kind of got everything on the list. You know, we've done a couple live streams this week already, so I don't think I need to try to do like another 50 shout outs for an hour.
No, keep it short. Get some rest.
Yeah,
I gotta pop my pills.
yeah,
Like I
don't.
said, you're kind of blurry and spinning. I don't think it's
Oh, I don't think it's me.
the video. It's
Don't
not the
have a
feed.
seizure, Uncle Al. Don't.
It's me.
Otherwise,
I'm
where are we going to
fine.
get all our crazy um, down the rabbit hole stories if you're having a seizure? Come on.
Ah, don't worry. Somebody will pull it up and then they say, "Wow, that was real." I remember that old crazy old guy who died from a stroke on a live stream. Yeah, that's the guy.
That'd be a way to go, right?
Yeah,
Passing
that'd be
away
funny
during a
as
live
hell.
stream,
Yeah,
especially if it just kept streaming and it just like wouldn't stop, and you're just like,
yeah. And they say, "Wow, Uncle Al, Die Bullfrog 79 got all these views, and now we'll pay him 25 cents from
yeah,
what you may call it,
the
YouTube. Here's your
monetization, yeah,
25 cents after
not quite enough
taxes."
to cover funeral costs, but
I don't think it's not enough to cover the stamp to send me the check.
that's true. All right,
Anyway,
Uncle Al.
oh yeah, number 6. You're living in LA, so you don't have anything to worry about. You're
Good.
safe.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm still in one piece so far, so we'll see how it goes.
Don't worry. Worst thing can happen if somebody firebombs your house and call you a racist, and you just yell back, "I'm not a racist. I'm Asian." And they're like, "You're mighty white as an Asian." And it's kind
That's
of
a good one. I'll tell him my dad's like Filipino and my mom is white. That's why I look white.
yeah, because they have undecided Democrats with the Asian groups, 4.9 million Asians who are voting for Trump as that unknown white group. So you just, I'm Asian too.
I'll tell him I'm Russian or something. I don't know, but that's still white, I guess.
African line just hopped.
I know. Sorry, African. I'm heading out right now. I've Uncle Al and I have been here for about 40 minutes. I've been here for about an hour. So.
Yep. So I'll catch you later. Hope
Yep.
to see the knives, African lion.
Thanks for stopping by, everyone. Thanks for stopping by, Uncle Al.
Night.
We'll see you next time.